I'm not gonna lie, the last few updates and information we're getting from Halo Studios about Halo Infinite have been kind of awesome. With the recent Forerunner operation, bringing in an awesome map that's themed like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, a fun variation of Husky Raid, some cool armor sets, and of course the BTB refresh, which came in a rough launch of it, but then got updated, and now people are actually finally able to chance to play the new content, which is a great change. I don't know why it needed to be changed in the first place, but hey, at least we got there. But after watching the recent livestream reveal of the summer update and reading through the entire blog that came with it, it's actually getting me excited to jump back in and play some more Halo Infinite. But this summer update also kind of reveals to me that this was originally planned long ago for Halo Infinite, we just never got it, and just makes you wish, man, this game could have been so much more. So if you want to know everything, make sure you stay tuned throughout the whole video to understand all the details. Just so we're all on the same page here, I wanted to go over the blog and all the little details here, and then we actually go into discussion talking about what this all means for Halo Infinite moving forward. Timestamps down below, of course, if you just want to skip to the discussion of the game. This update coming on the 6th is the Last Stand operation. Now, these new seasonal update operations are a little different than your typical operations, as these are your 50 tier battle passes that come with a premium tier and also a free tier as well. Give you a lot of different types of armor and bits of customization, which looking great. The only difference with this 50 tier pass, that if you don't buy into the premium version of the pass, it does go away once the next operation comes in on June 10th, which is called Legacy, which is going to be Halo 3 themed. So this is going to be very similar to the last operation, where it's going to be acting kind of like a little bit on your FOMO and just making people just having to jump in to pay for things, but you know, you do get 50 tiers of content. Next, we have the first real new actual gun to come into Halo Infinite 3.5 years after launch, but at least we're finally getting a new weapon. This is the Mutilator. It's been long awaited, long leaked, and it's finally coming to us, guys. And the 343, hats off to them for doing the right move here for people to want to jump in and get a chance to play with the Mutilator. Is actually coming with a playlist called Mutilator Madness, which is a Juggernaut variant. And they basically describe the Mutilator as kind of like a pump shotgun that has ability to one tap, which has 2 shots in it where you can shoot 2, which deals more damage, but also depletes your ammo, or you can do a one-shot variation as well. At least on screen, they didn't really talk about exactly how that happens. My assumption is probably holding down the trigger releases 2 shots, but we'll see how it goes. I've seen a lot of strategies within this gameplay alone of basically doing a one tap with a one shot of the Mutilator, then go for the melee, which is a gravity hammer element to it as well. Oftentimes, I need a little hit of energy when gaming, but something that's a little less intense than, say, an energy drink or some coffee, and that's where 4XP Gaming Drink Mix comes in. Enriched with a vitamin blend of A, E, B6, B9, and of course B12, as well as a low caffeine option that's around 23 milligrams per serving. That's 4 times less than a cup of coffee, so you won't have to deal with any of those caffeine jitters. Giving me the nice little lift that I need with my gaming sessions, but not completely wrecking my sleep schedule. No artificial sweeteners, which can have a nasty off-putting aftertaste. Only 10 grams of sugar per serving. That's far less than a typical energy drink. 4XP also has a trio of tasty flavors like Legendary, Ultra Nightmare, and Grave Walker. And with the low cost of 72 cents per serving and 50 servings to a tub, you're going to be saving a lot of money as well. And the fun thing for all my Halo fans out there, that 4XP actually has a really strong history with the Halo experience in the community. It's one of the first things they mentioned on their website, saying our journey began with late night sessions of Halo 3. And a fun little Easter egg on their website that all their flavors are voiced by Jeff Sticer, the voice guy from Halo. Just listen to this.
Grave Walker, Legendary, Ultra Nightmare.
I mean, that's incredible. The great thing about 4XP is that all of their processes, formulation, manufacturing, all of it is done entirely within the United States. If you guys want to help support the channel and 4XP, I got my code and link in the pinned comment and description of this video to help save you a little cash as well. So hopefully 4XP can help let your gamer out. But what are you going to be able to play with this new operation? Well, you'll be able to play Firefight Battle of the Academy. Now, this is where I'm talking about later in the video, how this is looking to be probably cut content, then turned into Forge content. later on for people to actually get a chance to play. But essentially they're adding in linear firefight maps as a specific playlist, which kind of has a little bit of a narrative tied to it as well, just for the lulz of it, I guess. Which linear firefight maps in Halo Infinite I find to be super fun. Ardent Prayer from the initial firefight update was definitely the best map, and I'm glad that 343 is leaning into that experience, because this definitely just makes firefight actually really fun for me to play compared to your traditional variations. We're getting a sandbox update, but this update is really only making it available to customize various weapons that have not been able to be customizable from previous updates. Like the Mutilator, for example, can be customized. The MA5K Avenger can be customized. The Needler, Heatwave, and Shock Rifle as well. Another change coming to the sandbox, guys, is a great addition of one, the perfect kill medal being showcased within the kill feed. Again, just letting people know how much skill you really have within the game. But the one part I'm really excited about that's finally coming back after all these years, the ricochet shot with the sniper rifle is finally coming back into Halo for you guys to jump around and play. These are also just have always been just super fun things that you can play around with within the sandbox of Halo, and it's been a shame that you haven't been able to ricochet shots in Halo Infinite, but it's finally happening, guys. So that's a really cool thing. Look forward to some really sick bank shots on the pit variation. That thing is all over the place. Key bank shots. The Banshee's also getting an update. 3 major changes of the cooldown time has been raised for the fuel rod cannon. The velocity of the Banshee projectiles have been reduced, and sustained collision damage has been minimally augmented. A key change is coming along with the exchange, where you actually will be able to sort by different types of customization rather than having to scroll through everything like this. As you can see, you actually just scroll to what part you actually want to find for your customization and pick that up rather than having everything kind of in a big jumbled mess. So a weird thing with this exchange update that you will be able to buy Spartan points with your actual like shop currency now. So if you want to fast track that way, again, that's just another way for them to get a little extra cash out of you. And finally, we got a date when it came to S&D coming into Halo Infinite, and he said it'll be coming in later with this summer update, possibly with the Legacy operation or possibly with the Reclaimer operations, when I would expect to see this come in. It will be added into the ranked modes. And I also would like to see this in casual, but I'm pretty sure it might be just regulated to ranked, as it's probably a little bit more of a sweaty type of mode. But I'm really looking forward to see how this plays out with the public, because the gameplay that I did see on stream with all the pros playing it, it definitely seemed really interesting. Maybe a little complicated when it came to actually buying things, but for the most part, it looks really like a fun new experience to have in Halo, which is I'm all for. And yes, you heard me right, a Halo 3 and Halo 4 themed type of operations are coming here, guys. Right here, we have, of course, we have the Last Stand coming out here on May 6th. Then in just a few weeks after that, on June 10th, you have Legacy, and then July 8th, which is going to be Reclaimer, which Legacy being much more of a Halo 3 themed type of Legacy type of operation there. So I'd be really excited about that. Maybe to bring back some kind of classic Halo 3 movement, kind of like they did with like that Delta Halo playlist that did to kind of mimic Halo 2 in a way. And of course, we also have the Reclaimer one here, which I'm sure they'll probably tease some Halo 4 type of things. Heck, maybe they might even bring in like what the supply drops, right, that we had back in Halo 4, as in like kill streaks. I mean, like, why not? That'd be kind of wild. But I know the main thing people are going to be looking for when it comes to this updates for Halo 3 and Halo 4 are the armor sets, the classic armor sets from Halo 3, and also called for Halo 4 as well, going to be added into Halo Infinite, and they look so good within the Halo Infinite arsenal. And yes, the Fotis Unicorn Horn is finally getting back into Halo Infinite. I know I see that so many times within the comments. This is like a fan dedicated favorite right here. So I'm excited for you guys out there. I mean, I won't be looking like a weird or unicorn, but I'm glad you guys have the opportunity. Now, for those of you who skipped forward towards the discussion part, welcome. Hi, glad you already know everything that's happening within Halo. But there's this one part in particular that happened within this live stream, and Sketch mentioned something very specific that I want you guys to really listen in on what he's really saying here.
Yeah, this is cool. I know there's been talks internally, and, you know, honestly, for years, there's been a desire to somehow realize this idea of like a battle for the academy. So I'm excited that finally able to kind of make it happen, also in partnership with some members of the Forge community.
Well, I hope you guys kind of picked up what Sketch was throwing down with that little snippet right there. And I think what he's really saying is that basically the Forgers are stepping in to fill in some cut content that was planned originally for the live service of Halo Infinite that just never made it to fruition. Because I think we all realized that this was kind of like what the story was kind of leading itself up to with the multiplayer side of things, of basically leading to where Eratus infects the Academy and then sends out a signal to then have it attacked by the Banished. And this is where Sketch was talking about how this is something that was been in the works and wanting to do something like this for years. And basically the Forgers are stepping up once again to give the Halo community something to play around with. But not only that, I think they also try to complete what they wanted to do when it came to the multiplayer story for Halo Infinite, which is such a shame because it really was an interesting story that 343, now Halo Studios, were putting together for this game to really have something more than just playing multiplayer. And hopefully having these multiplayer stories acting as like a bit of a connective tissue between major beats of these planned campaign DLC that we talked about previously on the channel here, as in Aatrox making his return to attack the ring. So with that little bit of knowledge, I'm kind of assuming that this kind of was the idea of having some kind of playable element at the Academy where Eratus sends out a signal for all of the Banished to come attack the Academy. But you imagine if you actually were able to defend it and you had actual like cutscenes and like actual like developer made maps and maybe a completely unique game mode that would just be something that only Halo Infinite has experienced. So I think this is kind of like what they had an idea of, but then never were able to give it to, the full production that they needed for it because of, well, the live service of Halo Infinite being kind of cut down at its knees back in early of January of 2023. I just hope that these forgers out there who are putting so much time into creating things like this are able to be compensated in some kind of way. Like, I know they're not being able to be financially compensated because that's just a whole nother level of just complication where maybe 343 or Halo Studios now, I should say, just might not have the ability to justify to Microsoft, hey, we need to spend money on Halo Infinite, even though Microsoft has dropped all support for it as a main development of the game, right? So hopefully these forgers are able to get like either like LinkedIn profiles, build up a profile or something that, so that these forgers who are likely, want and aspiring map designers within game industry in some kind of capacity, many of them have become map designers actually, that they at least find some way to kind of get into the industry or, fulfill their dreams of possibly being part of the game dev, because that's basically what they're doing right now. They're communicating with the dev teams over at Halo Studios to create content, work cooperatively with a large scale team that this is like actual development stuff that they're doing. So, I mean, I just hope these forgers get their due because they're doing a phenomenal job and really have been carrying Halo Infinite for years now at this point. But as someone who's followed Halo Infinite's development since the announcement back in 2018 and took part of some of the early testing before the launch of the game, this just makes me realize what we could have had with this game, right? Like, imagine if Halo Infinite launched as the developers intended for it to be, as Microsoft intended for it to be. We would be eating so good as Halo fans, guys. Like, Halo Infinite, I think, just forever going to be recognized as the Halo game that should have been. In any kind of way for it to redeem itself when it comes to its reputation, I just don't really see it being possible. I think people are always going to recognize it as oh yeah, it's the game that you played at launch and then it got boring and there was no content updates and people stopped playing. And imagine if these cutscenes were able to add some story elements to it that you actually probably could even integrate into the gameplay itself, to where it would act as that connective tissue between the major beats of new campaign drops, which I heard it was supposed to be yearly. It was the initial idea, but then I think it was going to be bi-yearly, and then it got completely dropped when half the team got cut from Halo Studios. Okay, maybe not half, but a significant chunk to where it actually hindered the development of the game. Of course, now that I'm thinking about it, it sounds like I'm being all doom and gloom, oh man, I wish the game could have been great. But this is where we are right now when it comes to the Halo franchise. And I think just watching this stuff and hearing all that stuff that they're talking about just makes you go oh man, this definitely was the original idea for the story and have it actually be something to be like integral to the gameplay experience of Halo's the live service that was supposed to happen, but just never really truly got up and running. That's just how I'm feeling. I don't mean to be all doom and gloom, but it's just like how I feel when it comes to watching stuff. I'm definitely gonna be jumping in and playing this. This looks awesome. I'm gonna be jumping in, playing it. I'll be streaming it. I'll be making content with you guys about this stuff. So if you guys want to join us, make sure you subscribe to the channel so we can get a chance to check out all this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm definitely gonna need a squad of friends from the stream to jump in and play with us, guys, because you all know what it's like trying to play with randoms. But honestly, the summer update here, it's a W for me. Like, a lot of great changes, looking good, some new fun things, things that make me want to jump in and play Halo, which is something that I think we've been starting to get quite a bit more now when it comes to Halo Infinite. So if you guys want to stay up to date, make sure to tap like and subscribe. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a green master heart. Chief, let me know who the real ones are out there who made it to the end of the video. You know, supporting the channel the best way possible by watching to the end. And if you guys want to check out any content from me recently, like my marathon content, or talking about Titanfall's cancellation or Xbox's raises on prices, check out some videos right here for you guys. Thank you all for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.